Today on Monkey Life, new chimp Toprish finds the great outdoors a bit of a shock. But her new friends offer their support.
They're giving the reassurance that she's asking for. Yeah, it's good.
Guenon mum Nia needs reminding she has responsibilities now.
Every now and again, you have to stand there and say, no, you're not coming in until you go get your baby.
And the capuchins take on a snake in the grass. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. A team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
Hey, Mrs. Benny and Nia. Oh, there's a little boy.
The park provides a home for more than 260 monkeys and apes from 24 different species. It's a big day for one of the chimps in Bart's group. Young female Toprish arrived at the park from a zoo near Istanbul nearly 6 months ago. Her integration has been slow but steady. She hasn't lived with adult chimps before, having been originally kept as a pet after being stolen from the wild. She's now developed some friendships and alliances, notably with Mickey, Beth and Zoe, and they currently make up a small subgroup along with Athena and Clin. But there are still a number of chimps she has yet to fully meet, including Bart, his older sister Eddie, and dominant female Cindy. It means Bart's group is currently split in two. So today the team are going to let Toprish outside into the big enclosure for the first time, in order to move her progress along.
We're still a way off having the whole group running together, but we're at a point now where we want to be able to let her outside because it's going to make managing the groups a lot easier, because it will give them more space. And she does need to get to know this area before she goes out there with the whole group. But yeah, we're hoping that she's going to take things steady and not just go charging out there, but we shall see. You never know what's going to happen.
Hannah opens the slide, and the subgroup is led out by Mickey, followed by Clin, Athena and Beth. A nervous Toprish hangs back, unsure what to make of the tunnel, let alone the big outdoor space at the end of it. After a few minutes, she heads down the tunnel and gazes out at the enclosure. But then, she climbs the fence, grabbing hold of one of the electric wires, which is there to act as a deterrent. The harmless shock sends her rushing back down the tunnel with a screech. A second attempt results in the same mistake. A concerned Mickey dashes back to check on her, but even with him at her side, Toprish isn't willing to try again just yet.
We're taking baby steps at the moment. It's great seeing that they are seeing her as part of the group now, and they're giving the reassurance that she's asking for, and she's respecting their ranking in the hierarchy as well. So, yeah, it's good.
Her housemates head outside once more, and Toprish bravely ventures back down the tunnel. She doesn't understand what's happened to her. Outside seems a very dangerous place. She's reluctant to try again, even with Zoe sitting beside her offering support. And when she does finally brave a few steps on the grass, it's for a fleeting few seconds before her courage deserts her and she scampers back indoors. The team call it a day. It's important Toprish is confident and happy with the outside space, and they don't want to force the issue. It's been 5 weeks since the park welcomed its first ever baby Guenon. And, quite possibly, the first red-bellied Guenon born in captivity anywhere in the world. Mum Nia and Dad Benny are coping remarkably well with their new addition, particularly given their past experiences. Initially stolen from the wild and smuggled out of the jungles of Benin, they were confiscated by the authorities in Lebanon before being rescued by Monkey World. They settled in well at their new home, along with two housemates known as the Odd Couple, Patus monkey Mitza and aging ring-tailed lemur George. Now Benny and Nia have a new baby girl to look after. Staff have named her Biff.
The Guenons actually do have quite large-sized single babies. Other anecdotal information that we've come up with is that the female Guenons are far more attentive with female babies than they are with male babies. And that's something that we're beginning to see evidence of as well. I mean, you can say that Nia isn't a focused and natural mother, but we're just pleased that it's clearly a very healthy little baby, and Nia's done really well. And it looks like that she and Benny are going to stay a tight family unit.
The family bond is very strong. When Dad Benny isn't high up in the trees, he's happy and comfortable being close to Nia and their daughter. Biff's development in just 5 weeks is remarkable. She's already confident enough to come off mum and explore. Although she always keeps her in sight, just in case. Nia, on the other hand, isn't always so attentive, sometimes forgetting the baby altogether.
And the weather's actually quite nice and reasonable. When it's time to come to bed at night, Benny and Nia will appear in the house. Where's the baby? Oh, she's left the baby outside because it's starting to come off of her in quite a natural way now. It's a few weeks in now, bouncing around on the platforms when she's sitting there. Well, if she happens to look the other direction and decide to go in, every now and again, she has left the baby outside, and you have to stand there and say, no, you're not coming in until you go get your baby, and she does. And so, yeah, touch lots of wood. Everything should be fine, and it's growing and progressing and is looking like quite a beautiful little red-bellied Guenon now. But it has been a voyage of discovery both for ourselves and for Benny and Nia.
At the top woolly enclosure, leader Levar is outside, keeping an eye on the 4 ladies who form part of his group. The 4 younger boys are inside, about to tuck into a treat of vegetables and something a little more tasty, live locusts.
The adults love hunting them. They run around the playroom trying to catch them, and the kids much more enjoy playing with them. But again, it's great enrichment for them. It gets them nice and active, and they have to practice with their hand-eye coordination just to make sure they're getting it right, and it just builds up that muscle toning by them chasing their food around. They're a delicious treat.
The insects are a good source of protein and calcium, and Manny clearly loves them. The eldest of the 4, at 7 years of age, he's now a full-grown male, with all the physical features that come with it. He's bulked up, with a huge amount of muscle tone, a helmet-shaped head, and an attitude to go with it. Because of this, the team sometimes split the group, keeping Manny and his dad Levar apart. Levar's been an outstanding leader for almost 20 years. Fair and kind and loved by everyone. But at some stage, Manny is likely to make a move for the top spot. To minimize the stress for the whole group, the 2 large males are mostly kept apart, unless supervised by staff.
Levar is still in charge of this group, and he is still firmly the favourite with the girls. So every now and again we do separate them off just to give Levar a bit of a rest. He is one of our oldest woolly monkeys here at the park, so it's just nice to give him a bit of recuperation time and just let him have that nice relationship with the girls without Manny getting involved and trying to take over everything. We do make sure that everyone has a relationship here at Top Woolies, and we do make sure that the girls still get plenty of time with both of the boys.
A year younger than Manny, but also developing into adulthood, is Bueno Jr. He's one of 2 woolies in the group hand-reared from birth. He may be growing up fast, but he's still a cheeky little character. The 2 youngest boys are 4-year-old Carlos and 2-year-old Cosmo, who have a great relationship. Today, they're more interested in playing than foraging for locusts. Recently, there's been concern over Cosmo's health. In the last few weeks, he's had a number of seizures, which can be common in young males, although they often grow out of it. His mobility is affected for a short period of time after the fits, but the vet has prescribed medication, and the care team are hopeful they have his condition under control.
The medication that he has been put on does seem to be making a difference, and as we've seen today from the interaction with the locust and the rest of this group, his personality has really come back. He's really starting to shine, and he's really starting to be aware of what's going on around him again, and the use of the arm and leg has really come back, and it's such a relief to see him coming back to his happy little self.
It's good news, and a testament to the hard work of the staff managing the group's politics, health and welfare. Keeping the primates active and interested is a major focus for the care team. And today, some of the most inquisitive residents at the park are about to take on an intruder. It's an enrichment task aimed at challenging the clever capuchins and seeing if they'll confront an intruder like they would in the wild. Donna and the primate care team want to see how 2 separate and very different groups react to a dangerous predator in their midst. First off, Sonny's group of 20.
So we immed and ahed which group we were going to put the snake in with. We had 5 groups to choose from. We decided on Sonny's because it's a very unique group. There's a lot of older animals in this group, but also the group's quite split into different subgroups. So I'm really interested to see if they'd all actually rally together when there's something a bit different in their enclosure. Who knows what's going to happen?
Capuchin monkeys are extremely bright, and this should challenge their intelligence and their ability to come together. It may well also reveal something about Sonny's leadership style. Will he step up to the plate in time of crisis? The group are let out, but appear oblivious to the possible danger lurking nearby. They're all happy and content, tucking into the morning's breakfast. Jenny is first to spot the threat hiding in the woodpile. Her curiosity alerts some of the other females, including Babs and Dot. But leader Sonny is there to protect them. Or is he? Sonny was born in a laboratory and, unlike wild-born capuchins, has never been in an environment that might harbour snakes. He's on his guard, but is brave enough to give the creature a little tap. The lack of retaliation from the reptile persuades him there's nothing to worry about. He's content to carry on munching his breakfast with the imitation snake nearby. Some of the females were wild-caught and may have come across snakes and predators prior to life in the laboratory. They're known as the robustus ladies, so named because they're a different subspecies of capuchin. Their close relationship with Sonny has kept them at the top of the hierarchy. The imitation snake hasn't caused them any real concern. They're older and wiser than some of the younger capuchin groups, like Franco's, and carry on foraging for food, not in the least intimidated by the intruder in their midst.
We're hoping that it's going to survive Sonny's group, and then we're going to put it in a different group, Franco's group. The 2 groups are very different. Franco's group is more solid as one big group, and I really think they will band together and probably end up killing the snake, where Sonny's group is more split into subgroups, so it'll be interesting to see the different reactions.
This time, Donna's positioning the snake up high on one of the climbing poles. There are 15 in Franco's group, which is much younger than Sunny's and has more laboratory-born members. They've all grown up together and are a tight-knit family. Felipe and Franco lead the group out, completely unaware there's a sneaky snake hiding high above them. Felipe is the first to spot the bogus reptile, and with Emily's support, raises his tail as a warning. He adopts a threatening and aggressive stance, alerting the others of the danger nearby. Fluffy Frida, one of the younger females, backs them up on the hose. But she isn't 100% sure about taking on the snake. Fabian springs into action. He's arguably the brightest capuchin in the group, extremely confident and clearly fascinated by the new creature in front of him. The group surround the snake, working in unison to nullify the threat. But their leader, Franco, is conspicuous by his absence. His behaviour is totally opposite to Sunny's reaction earlier on. It's left to Fabian to be the first to actually touch the snake. He sensibly approaches from the rear and taps its tail, before being heavier-handed the second time. He also checks for any scent of the creature. It's been interesting to see the group coming together and, unlike Sunny's, working as a team.
I think the reaction from Franco's group is really positive. A lot of the individuals did band together towards the snake to try and get rid of it, so that's really great. There were certain individuals that weren't as involved, but that's again what we would find out in the wild. The more dominant individuals would be there at the forefront, and then the lower ranking individuals not so much, and that's pretty much what we saw. But it was really great to see who was interested, who not so much, and to see who sort of bonded with each other and backed each other up.
It's a slow, relaxed morning down at the Stumpy house. The monkeys are going about their business, searching for breakfast and enjoying an occasional grooming session. The group has 8 members, 3 males and 5 females. Most are over the age of 20, and a couple, like leader Sam, are now into their 30s. They all have their own unique personalities.
They are very grumpy, they're cantankerous, they don't really like people. Even if you give them something nice, they'll just take it off you and wander off, or give you a swipe or a grunt and they're gone. But that's part of their charm. Everyone who comes into the Stumpy house seems to instantly fall in love with them. They're just the characters, so many different characters in there. Some of them are a bit more mild-mannered than others. We've had some very, very sort of grumpy ones in the past, and we've had some that are a little bit more tolerant.
Of the original 19 Stumpies who arrived at the park in 2000, Sam is now the only survivor. Rescued from a British laboratory, where they were used for asthma research, they arrived as a severely obese rabble with poor mobility and social skills. But Monkey World gave them a new start and access to the great outdoors so they could live a more normal life. Over the years, their numbers have dwindled, mainly due to medical issues associated with their past lives and old age, leaving just Sam.
He's been a really good dominant male in the group because he's so calm, so sort of laid back, sort of almost very smooth and sophisticated. I said the girls, when we introduced him to the girls, he was very calm and they all loved him straight away, and he got on very well with everyone. He doesn't really give anyone grief unless he's having a bad day. But over the last few years, we have started to see sort of signs of ageing in him. The coat has got whiter and thinner on the back, and he's just starting to slow down a bit. Things are a bit more of a struggle. But he's still got the respect of his females in the group. And so he's still sort of keeping his position at the top despite the arrival of sort of Toto and Freddie in recent years, which are a potential threat to him.
When Toto and Freddie arrived from Belgium almost 3 years ago, no one quite knew what impact they would have on the group and its hierarchy. While Freddie is thought to be an older macaque, Toto is a magnificent-looking Stumpy in the prime of life. Fit and agile, he has everything in his favour to win over the female's affections. But his poor social skills and lack of confidence have kept him stuck firmly on the bottom rung of the hierarchy ladder. When things are looking up.
Toto seems to be learning some social behaviours better. From when they arrived, Freddie always seemed to have a bit more sort of almost stumpy smarts, really. He knew what he was supposed to do, he knew how social etiquette worked, and he was a lot better. Toto just, although he had the looks, he just didn't seem to have a clue what he was supposed to do, what was going on, how he should react to things. So he seems to be learning. And the girls really do like Toto and Freddie, but obviously Sam is their dominant male, so they are respectful of him. But if they get a chance to nip out and see Toto and Freddie without Sam spotting them, they will take that opportunity.
The 5 females in the group, led by Kelly, are all over 20. The eldest is Flo, who only arrived 4 years ago from a rescue centre in Germany. She's formed a close alliance with Freddie and Toto.
Obviously, with the summer months, they are spending a lot of time outside, which I think is helping the group dynamics. They're just all nice and calm, sitting outside. The Stumpies aren't renowned for being particularly active anyway. They don't do a lot of exercise. We try and motivate them and get them to do things by spreading their food around and giving them enrichment. But the thing they like best is eating and sitting around, grooming and sunbathing. So at some point, there is going to be potentially a sort of a changeover with Toto and Freddie. It's just when the girls almost decide that is allowed to happen, because they're the ones that have a big factor in it, who they support and who they choose to be their dominant male, because they're the ones that back up Sam and chase Toto and Freddie off if they feel the need to.
So for now, the status quo remains. But things are always evolving, and it'll be no surprise if the dynamics at the top change in the coming years. Next time on Monkey Life, Hujan, the smallest orangutan at the park, gets to meet one of the largest, Tuan.
Hujan's a little bit mind-boggled with meeting the big guy. It's a big, scary experience for him for the first time.
And the spider monkeys hightail it when they discover challenging treats in their enclosure.